Martin from the Philippines, and we're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So let's get to it. What's the topic of the day? So I'll ask you a question. How many of you have experienced a safe space? So what is that? How many of you have ever met a person, had a conversation, and you felt like whatever you said to him or her, it was okay? She would just listen. He would just be there. Wouldn't judge you. Whatever topic you were talking about, even if it was very sensitive, sometimes even very painful emotionally, you have to relive the experience. It was still okay. Still okay to express it, say it, let it out. So don't you love that kind of person, that kind of experience? So in my personal experience, it's been very rare, which leads to the topic of the day, which is safe space. So what is a safe space? A safe space, for those again watching the live or the replay, feel free to comment down below if you have any personal experience on the topic of safe spaces. Maybe you're someone who actually knows how to create one or be there for someone, or you're someone looking to have an experience in a safe space session. So type safe space down below if you want that. So just for those who are curious and interested already ahead. So let's get started with the live. Safe space. What is this? A safe space is an environment which is open, honest, and people are allowed to be vulnerable. So in order to better understand this, let's look at the opposite. What is not a safe space? So what is not a safe space is usually when the environment, the situation, the people around, they tend to be very judgmental. The second one, so this one I learned much later on, they tend to be emotionally dismissive, meaning whatever you're going through, that's not real. Yeah, wala lang. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So that's what emotionally dismissive is. You're not allowed to express yourself. You're not allowed to be heard. Your truth is not honored. And then the third part of what is not a safe space is, it can also be violent. So what do I mean by violent? It can be verbal. Sometimes it can be downright physical. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be beaten up at once, but it could be the threat of it. Also, violence can come in the form of psychological. So it could be manipulation. It can be social, like ganging up, bullying, mind games, all stuff like that. So that's like violent, on the violent or the unsafe side of communication or space. So safe space, what I learned about recently through training. So quick story time telling. The very first time I vividly remember experiencing a safe space was back in 2019, and it was the seminar I attended called Unbounded. So this company Life Kite, headed by Coach Bam Santiago, who recently passed away just this year, last February 28th. So I really honor that experience because when I joined, again, just like an act or a leap of faith, someone I trusted, I gave it a shot. I attended a seminar prior and I was still hungry for more. I was still craving for an experience like that, for my emotional healing, to experience a safe space finally, which I did back in, I believe it was August 2019, my very first time to experience this type of seminar. And in that safe space, ironically, it wasn't just me who was allowed to express myself and share really deep emotional things I was going through back then. So like depression, my a breakup, like that, whatever we're going through. Thank you for the support. I see your I see your emojis. I see that. Thank you for the love. So when I experienced that in that safe space, I was also surrounded by a group of strangers. The magic that happened there was when other people, hello for high mentor though, so, and even that, I'll give that as an example later on for the mentoring team. I applied what I learned from that seminar in 2019 to the mentoring team, which up to now I love it that you're able to just watch and be okay with it, whatever we're going through. So back in 2019, my first time to experience a safe space, it was also the strangers, the other people of differing backgrounds. So what I mean by open, honest, vulnerable, it doesn't matter what your background is, your sexual orientation, religion, gender, occupation, if you're rich or poor, like that, it didn't matter in that Unbounded seminar. So one of the seminar intentions in the start was even, I'm paraphrasing, was it's a place where strangers gather and then they can become friends or they get to share with each other. So I experienced that. So having a safe space also, some people are naturals, again, in the start of the live, if you know someone already who could just listen, hold space, be there for you, non-judgmental. I had to go through training. So I think this is pre-2019. A mentor of mine, Owen Cook, he mentioned this. It was a book, I believe, called Crucial Conversations by Joseph Grenny. So the whole point of Crucial Conversations is when there are high stakes or when it's really hard to talk about a certain topic. Again, anything. It could be sexuality or depression, money problems, family issues, trauma, like that. There is a way, there's a framework or an approach to go about it. Thank you, Mama Grace. I see you watching, and I see the support, the heart come up. So I really appreciate it. So a safe space is kind of like this. People are allowed to support each other. No matter what you speak your truth. Again, open, honest, and vulnerable. Crucial Conversations was a very key material. It's a book, but you could look it up. It teaches how to handle that. Coach Bam, Santiago, one of my mentors, mentioned the second one. It's called Nonviolent Communication by, I believe it's Marshall Rosenberg, who wrote that book or that material. So the key there again, the opposite of a safe space, right, is when it's violent, judgmental, dismissive, like that. So that book or that material will train you how to understand what a safe space is, how to create it, and how to hold it. And the really good people or facilitators who trained it, they can actually do it not just one-on-one, like you feel like you're talking with me in this live right now or watching the replay. They can actually hold groups, which I have experienced and witnessed as well. It's possible. It's actually possible. Mama Grace, reading your comment. Watching while waiting for my ophthalmologist. Is that like the dentist for your teeth? So, even in the past live, by the way, that comment of Mama Grace on the telephone bill, I really appreciated that. Quick backstory was, back in high school, I used the landline to call my ex-girlfriend. The phone bill month, it reached 12,000, which was double my life savings back then. And Mama Grace actually reached like a phone bill of a higher amount. So I felt like I wasn't alone. And it helped, actually. So safe spaces like that, creating that environment, setting that, ophthalmologist is for the eyes, correct? Thank you for sharing. So yeah, a safe space could be created that way. And I find it's a very good foundation. If ever you have any other intention or agenda, it's very applicable for not just personal, like friends, or what I love is when strangers meet. It can even be used in a workplace as a very solid foundation, how to create genuine or authentic relationships. What do I mean by that? One of the people watching the live right now, for my mentoring team, we could still connect this way, even if it's not about work. And one thing I appreciate about Fer, by the way, because this is what I learned from the mentoring team, is he loves to volunteer. So it's not even directly related to production, to work. It's more about what's important to him truly. His passion, his purpose, his mission in life. I still remember that. You know, if I'm not an agent anymore, I don't know if people will remember the things that really mattered, right? So that's what a safe space is for, right? So I feel like I've already said a lot of the benefits or what a safe space is. I'm sharing that it took me a lot of years, this point, just the recent years, to experience it. 2019 is just 4 years ago. So it's possible to actually experience it. It's possible to actually recreate it even. And then it will ripple effect and maybe help other people. If you're curious to experience a safe space, you could type it down below, safe space. We'll reach out to you. We could do a one-on-one first, if ever. You want to go a little deeper, experience just what this safe space is all about. If you want to go bigger, like in a group, reach out in the community. There are other people, coaches, facilitators, trained people who know how to do it. And you're welcome to join, have that experience as well. So that's it for this live today. Thank you for the people watching. Pam, Mama Grace, Fer, really appreciate the support. Keep the safe space going wherever you do it. One-on-one, friendships, at work. It just might save a life, just might help someone else. Thank you. I love you. Wait, before I end, I'll read this final comment. Nice to hear you again, Mentor. I'm on my way to Energy FM, so that's a radio station. We'll definitely talk about safe space. Same thing I do on Twitter. So Fer, in my mentoring team, and I want to talk like we're equals here. He's actually gone on radio stations and interviewed or interacted with local celebrities also. Again, it's not about the fame or anything. It's what I see and feel is it's about his mission, his purpose, his work. So thank you. I love you. And I will see you next time.